One New Year's Eve, I loaded my minivan up with my kids to meet family for a special New Year's Eve dinner at a restaurant. The car seemed to be driving a bit off, so I pulled over, checked the tires. Everything looked fine, so I got back in the car. But the car was still driving weird. So I asked my teenage drivers, did one of you hit something when you borrowed my car? Now, if you have teenage drivers or you were a teenage driver, you know what they said. No, of course. I got onto Florida's Turnpike to travel north toward the restaurant when my car suddenly lost control, swerving from one lane to the next. The car began speeding to 90 miles per hour, and my youngest son, terrified, begged, "Mom, please stop the car." And I yelled, "I can't." I desperately began praying, what do I do, God? If I pump the brakes, it might just make everything worse. And if I don't pump the brakes, we are going to swerve off the overpass to our death. And if you don't help me, God, we are going to die. God helped me decide to pump the brakes. And this is hard to believe, but the car suddenly stopped. You have to know it was New Year's Eve on the turnpike, with 4 lanes of fast driving traffic. So next, I waited for cars to crash into my dead still car. And when I finally had the courage to open my eyes, we found that the car was stopped inside a painted median strip near the exit of the overpass. God stilled my out of control car before swerving off the overpass ramp, which I understand must be at least 17 feet high. How did God do what only He could have done? All 4 tires were blown out, every single one of them. The highway patrol officer that came to help us said he had never seen anything like that, and he didn't even know how it was possible for this to happen. I told him I was praying for God's help, and this is how He chose to save us. He blew out all 4 of our tires. Wow. When I read Mark 4:39, Jesus got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Silence, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. I want to shout, that's what Jesus did for me. He calmed the raging storm of my out-of-control car, and He stilled the danger with His calm and His powerful presence. My friend, I don't know what challenges you're facing today, and perhaps your circumstances have your mind spinning out of control. Maybe you don't know what to do about a situation that's present in your life or in the life of someone that you care about. Maybe you feel the same worry and fear that the disciples must have felt when their boat was tossing in the midst of the storm. Maybe you wonder if Jesus cares about your problems, hears your cries for help. But I know this, God is standing ready and waiting to help you. Hang on, because your helper is on the way. The Gospels record many of the ways that Jesus helped those who cried out for His help. In their suffering and despair, they begged for mercy. In their pain, regret, and sin, they pleaded for His grace. And through years of misery and suffering, they reached out toward the one who had the power to save, to forgive, to heal. We see how weakness revealed through sickness, disease, and sin is overcome by God's strength. Read through the chapters in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Verse after verse describes the miraculous, helping, healing power of Jesus as He calmed the storm, turned water into wine, healed the deaf and mute, opened the eyes of the blind, how the lepers were cleansed, the demon-possessed were restored, diseases were healed, and over 5,000 men, not including all the women and children, were fed from 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish. The paralyzed were made to walk, the dead were raised to life, and the ultimate miracle, Jesus rose from the dead. It is in Jesus' resurrection that we are assured of our complete healing. For one day, we will receive complete healing and our bodies will be made new in heaven. Are you weary today, my friend? Hanging on by a little thread? Hang on tighter. Help is on the way. Read through the Gospels today for a reminder of God's power. There's absolutely nothing He can't do and won't do for you. Make Romans 8:11 your verse. The Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. The same power that resurrected Jesus is the same power available for you today. What is it that you need? Ask and pray for Jesus to provide it. A quote I have come to appreciate reminds us never to measure God's unlimited power by our limited expectations. Remember this today. God has placed your eyes on the front of your head, allowing you to see what's in front of you instead of what's behind you. Let it go. Don't look behind you. Don't look at the past. Look up toward the eyes of God for your help. The lyrics to Help Is on the Way by Toby Mac has been such an encouragement to me. It may be midnight or midday. He's never early, never late. He's going to stand by what he claims. I heard your heart. I see your pain. Out in the dark, out in the rain, you feel so alone, you feel so afraid. I heard you pray in Jesus' name. Help is on the way, rounding the corner, coming for you. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's years. Some face a lifetime of falling tears. But He's in the darkness, He's in the cold. Just like the morning, He always shows. Help is on the way. Well, I've seen my share of troubles, but the Lord hasn't failed me yet. So I'm holding on to the promise. Help is coming. Hang on, my friend. The helper and maker of heaven and earth is bigger in you than any struggles and storms that you face. Don't give up too soon. God has blessings planned for your faithfulness. He's got you. And my friend, believe this today. You've got Him. Ask God right now to do and to be what only God can do and be in your life. Then get ready. Expect a God-sized answers. Be blessed.